Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something that might just change the way you think about attraction. Have you ever said something so disarmingly simple, so effortlessly delivered, that it actually resonated with someone for days? Like it just stuck with them, swirling in their mind long after you've moved on. Today we're peeling back the layers on one of the most wildly underrated secrets in the game of attraction. We're talking about how a few unexpected words dropped with just the right tone and impeccable timing can weave themselves into a woman's thoughts and stay there lingering long after you've walked away. And no, this isn't about being the loudest guy in the room or flashing your expensive watch or trying to prove anything. It's about something far more subtle, far more powerful. It's about knowing how to speak directly to her emotional core, that deep, often hidden part of her that yearns for authentic, nuanced connection, not some obvious, over-the-top charm offensive. In this video, I'm going to guide you through 5 forbidden nicknames, words that when wielded correctly can unleash a surprisingly potent emotional impact. Forget those tired, cheesy pet names like babe or sweetheart. And let's be super clear, these are absolutely not pickup lines. Think of them as psychological tools, subtle, incredibly playful, and deeply effective. They're designed to gently tap into a woman's innate desires for unique connection, a sense of identity, and that undeniable spark of emotional tension. Because when you use these names right, they don't just flatter, they subtly reshape how she perceives herself when she's around you. We're going to dissect each name, exploring what it truly signifies, how it lands emotionally, and precisely why it works on a psychological level that most people completely miss. And trust me, by the time you reach the end of this video, you won't just be using a better vocabulary, you'll be creating deeper, more memorable impressions with hardly any effort at all. Let's dive right into our first forbidden nickname trouble. In the intricate dance of attraction, it's often the lightest, most casually tossed phrases that carry the most unexpected weight. And few words do this better or with more surprising effect than trouble. On the surface, it seems utterly harmless, even playfully teasing. But when delivered with the right tone, perhaps a knowing smirk or that direct lingering eye contact, this single word initiates a powerful, almost electric shift in emotional energy between you and her. What happens here is profound. You're not framing her as just another attractive person you're interested in. Instead, you're positioning her as someone who delightfully disrupts your composure, who throws your balance off in the absolute best possible way. She's no longer just beautiful. She transforms into a charming, captivating force, the kind of woman who subtly bends the emotional rules, keeps you delightfully on your toes, and adds an exciting unpredictability to the interaction. And honestly, the best part about trouble, it's cloaked in humor, not pressure. There's no heavy weight of expectation, no hint of desperation, just pure, unadulterated, playful tension. You're not chasing her. You're effortlessly drawing her into your world, into your frame, with a word that's both light on the tongue and layered with psychological depth. Let's build on what we've just uncovered. Because once you drop that first "your trouble" with genuine confidence, something truly subtle yet immensely powerful begins to unfold. It creates an almost immediate emotional fingerprint, a unique connection shared exclusively between the two of you in that precise moment. It's a secret, a wink, an inside joke that only you two are privy to. Now here's the crucial distinction: when you call her trouble, you're not objectifying her at all. Quite the opposite, in fact. You're identifying her as a spark of emotional mischief, as a captivating force, and in the world of genuine attraction, that subtle shift changes absolutely everything. Think about it, real deep-seated attraction isn't built on flimsy surface-level compliments or some obvious in-your-face chemistry. No, it's fundamentally built on how a woman genuinely feels when she's in your presence. So if being around you makes her feel playful, a little bit rebellious, and undeniably emotionally alive, what do you think will happen? She's going to crave that feeling, isn't she? She'll want to return to that exciting emotional space again and again. And beneath all of this, there's a fascinating psychological layer that most guys don't even realize is there bubbling just beneath the surface. Because when a man calmly, confidently drops a phrase like, "your trouble," he's actually revealing something profound about himself without giving everything away. It's like a carefully controlled glimpse of vulnerability, perfectly cloaked in a sense of unwavering control. You're letting her know unequivocally that she stirs something powerful within you, that she has an effect. But crucially, it doesn't throw you off balance. It's a moment of emotional honesty delivered without a hint of neediness or desperation. What this creates is something truly rare and incredibly potent, a soft yet undeniably magnetic power dynamic. She feels her own palpable effect on you, which is incredibly empowering for her. But at the same time, she also feels completely safe and secure because you're not overreacting, you're not simping, and you're certainly not stepping out of your own grounded frame. But here's the absolute non-negotiable key to making this work. It only lands effectively when it's genuinely authentic. You can't just toss it out there randomly or try to force it into a conversation where it doesn't fit. It has to be inextricably tied to something real, something that just happened between the two of you. Maybe she just said something incredibly bold that caught you off guard. Perhaps there was a sharp, knowing look in her eyes that spoke volumes. Or maybe she just cracked a brilliant line that genuinely made you laugh out loud and surprised you. When you use trouble in that precise organic moment, it transcends being just a word. It transforms into a mirror, reflecting back the parts of her that are daring, that are clever, that are confidently independent, and that are deeply beautifully feminine. And that's the part of herself, that intriguing, vibrant aspect that she'll instinctively start associating with you. That one playful word can echo in her mind for hours later, even in the quiet solitude of her own thoughts, bringing with it the vivid memory of just how alive and vibrant she felt when she was around you. Let's be clear, calling her trouble isn't about control. It's not some cheap pickup tactic, and it's certainly not manipulation. Instead, it's a sudden flash of genuine emotional honesty, perfectly disguised as a bit of playful humor. And in a world that's often overflowing with superficial interactions, that kind of raw, authentic realness, it hits deep. In a landscape full of forced flattery and exaggerated charm, this simple phrase stands out like a beacon. It's lighthearted yet incredibly magnetic. It's utterly simple but packed with layers of nuanced meaning. It's playful but profoundly meaningful. And when it's delivered with that perfect timing, the right tone, and most importantly, from a truly grounded, confident place, it becomes far more than just a comment. It becomes a moment, one that she won't just remember because of what you said, but because of how it made her feel. So we've talked about trouble, that playful acknowledgement of her spark. Now let's explore another potent word that operates on a similar, yet even deeper psychological level: heartbreaker. There's a fascinating reason why calling a woman heartbreaker, when done with genuine intent in the right delivery, leaves such a strong, almost indelible emotional impression. At first glance, it might just sound like a simple compliment. It acknowledges her undeniable beauty, her inherent charm, and that quiet magnetic power she effortlessly carries when she steps into any room. But underneath that surface, it's so much more. It's a subtle knowing nod to her presence, delivered not from a place of desperate neediness or overt worship, but from a foundation of calm, confident detachment. When a man looks at her with a relaxed smile, a glint in his eye, and casually says, "Heartbreaker," what he's truly communicating is this: I see you. I genuinely feel your effect, and it's powerful. But I'm not chasing it. I'm not swept away by it. Think about how most guys react to an attractive woman. They either go completely over the top, showering her with excessive praise and attention, or they pull back entirely, hiding behind a wall of manufactured coolness or indifference to protect their own ego. But this response, Heartbreaker, does neither. It fully acknowledges her beauty. It sees her captivating energy. Yet crucially, it also keeps your own frame completely intact. That, my friends, is precisely what makes it land with such unexpected force. Here's the unfiltered truth: attractive women are absolutely used to attention. They get it constantly. But what they are not used to is being truly seen, not just for their striking looks or the obvious things, but for the subtle emotional patterns they leave behind. And here's the paradox: in the very same breath that you acknowledge her impact, you're also subtly making it clear that you won't be just another one of the many guys who fall at her feet. That delicious paradox, it's utterly magnetic. This works not because it simply flatters her, but because it fundamentally flips the dynamic. You're not trying desperately to impress her. Instead, you're acknowledging the game, that natural dance of attraction, and consciously choosing to stand your ground, firmly rooted in your own confidence. You see her, you admire her, but you are absolutely not handing over your power to her. And that right there is where the playful tension truly lives and breathes. It's the stark difference between saying, "Wow, you're so incredibly beautiful. Please, please like me," and saying with that easy knowing smile, "Ah, a heartbreaker. Huh, I'll definitely have to watch my step around you." And when that's delivered with genuine relaxed confidence, not sarcasm, not fear, but pure grounded self-possession, she doesn't just hear the words. She feels the powerful contrast. She feels admired but not idolized. She feels desired but she isn't in control of you. And that, my friends, is exactly where the spark, the real magic begins. You see, it's not just about the specific words you choose. It's profoundly about what your energy signals when you say them. And that kind of calm, unruffled detachment, it's incredibly rare in today's world. It signals emotional intelligence at its absolute best. Heartbreaker becomes a kind of soft, illuminating mirror, reflecting how you perceive her, but without needing anything in return. There's no forced flattery, no praise-drenched pressure, just pure observation, unwavering confidence, and crystal clear clarity. And for a woman who's likely accustomed to an endless stream of shallow compliments, that kind of mirror lands differently. Suddenly, you're not just another guy trying to win her over. You instantly become someone she's genuinely curious about, someone she can't quite read, which makes you infinitely more intriguing. Because here's the real insight: women don't just want attention, they crave recognition. Genuine, grounded, deeply perceptive recognition. And when that recognition comes wrapped in your own self-possession, your own inner strength, that's when you truly create depth. So when you choose to call her a heartbreaker, truly mean it. Say it with a relaxed, almost casual tone. There should be no charge to your voice, no nervous energy, no sense of putting on a performance. It should sound as if you've seen this kind of captivating force before, as if you've been here completely unfazed but still appreciative. Because in that precise moment, you're not handing her your power. You're simply revealing that you already confidently hold your own. And that grounded, self-assured presence is what she'll truly remember. That's what will keep her leaning in curious for more. My favorite headache, the playful contradiction. Now let's pivot to another absolutely genius nickname that's both playful, completely unexpected, and sneakily emotional. My favorite headache. Why does this one hit so hard? Because it doesn't just say, "You matter to me," or "You're a bit of a handful." It says both in one swift, brilliant stroke. And that kind of delicious emotional contradiction, it doesn't push her away at all. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It draws her closer, pulling her into your orbit. When you use this phrase, you're subtly showing her that she gets under your skin, that she has an effect on you. But here's the kicker: it's in a way that you actually kind of like. The word headache itself creates a light, engaging tension. It implies she's challenging, perhaps a little unpredictable, maybe even delightfully exhausting. But then that one tiny word, favorite, completely flips the entire script. Suddenly, what could have been an irritation transforms into endearment. Challenge morphs into closeness. And any potential frustration instantly turns into undeniable flirtation. Instead of reacting with genuine annoyance, you masterfully turn the moment into a shared joke, a small, private game that only the two of you truly understand. Women deep down crave this kind of emotional push-pull, this delightful back and forth. Why? Because it perfectly mirrors how real attraction and genuine connection actually work. Love doesn't magically grow from sterile perfection. It blossoms from playful friction, from those little bumps and challenges, all handled with a dose of emotional maturity and a sense of humor. A phrase like, "My favorite headache," does something truly remarkable. It gently teases her, while simultaneously validating her impact. It says, "Yes, you've made an impression, you've stirred something inside me," but it's a welcome, even cherished feeling, and in its essence, it's incredibly intimate. The addictive intermittent reward loop. Let's stay with this powerful energy for a moment, because this next nickname and the psychology behind it hits deep. There's something even more profound at play here. This kind of phrase brilliantly taps into what psychologists refer to as the intermittent reward loop. Think of it like this: when you expertly blend just the right amount of playful challenge with genuine warmth, when she can't quite tell if she's genuinely frustrating you or simply charming you beyond measure, you create a rich, captivating emotional texture. And that texture, it's utterly addictive in the absolute best possible way. It keeps her intrigued, keeps her guessing, and most importantly, it keeps her emotionally invested in you and your interactions. Think about it logically. If you constantly shower her with nothing but compliments, it quickly becomes predictable and frankly a bit boring. Conversely, if you only ever criticize or challenge her, the dynamic quickly turns toxic. But when you artfully mix those energies, playfully intentionally with a nickname like my favorite headache, you speak directly to the part of her that yearns to feel noticed, recognized, and playfully challenged. This nickname isn't for serious, heavy moments, no. This belongs squarely in those light teasing exchanges, especially when she's poking a little fun at you, perhaps even testing your patience just to see what you'll do, how you'll react. That's when my favorite headache truly shines. My favorite headache, the art of delivery. Maybe she's verbally sparring with you, pushing your buttons just enough to stir a reaction. And that's exactly when my favorite headache hits with maximum impact. Because she knows instinctively that it's not just about her being annoying, it's about her being your kind of annoying. That small, crucial twist in meaning, it matters far more than most men realize. It's not simply that she's difficult, it's that she's difficult in a way that you find, well, irresistible. This delicate balance between honesty and warmth is truly rare. Most guys either bottle up their true feelings, letting them fester, or they go too far and simply snap. Very few possess the emotional intelligence to acknowledge that subtle tension without making the interaction feel unsafe or heavy. But when you can master that calm, steady energy, teasing but never cruel, you immediately stand out from the crowd. You become the kind of man who can confidently handle emotional friction without losing his balance. The kind of man who can be annoyed and affectionate at the very same time. And that creates something far more profound than just attraction. It builds a deep sense of trust. So when the moment is right, lean in. Look her directly in the eye. And with a slight smirk say, "You really are my favorite headache." Then say nothing else. Let it land. Let the moment hang in the air. Let her truly feel the delightful contradiction. Because in that exact moment, she's not just laughing, she's feeling. She's emotionally awake, truly alive in your presence. And that is what she'll remember long after the conversation ends. Wildcard, defining her unpredictability. Let's keep this powerful momentum going because this next nickname has the remarkable ability to fundamentally shift the entire dynamic in a woman's mind. With this one, you're not just complimenting her looks. You're not leaning on tired cliches or generic flattery. You're doing something far more impactful. You're defining a unique, compelling emotion she brings into your world. You're subtly saying, "You don't fit the mold. You constantly surprise me, and I absolutely love that." And trust me, that lands deeply. Why does it resonate so strongly? Because what woman out there doesn't yearn to be seen as more than just pretty, to be felt, not just looked at? This nickname tells her, you're not just another face in the crowd. You shake things up. And that very unpredictability, it's precisely what makes you stand out from everyone else. It's not just about her presence. It's about how she disrupts your usual rhythm in the most wonderfully unexpected ways. And here's where the power truly lies. When you label her a wild card, you plant a subtle, intriguing idea in her mind. She almost immediately starts to wonder, what is it about me that's so different, so captivating? And almost without consciously realizing it, she begins to lean into that very identity even more, embracing her unique, spontaneous self. That's why this nickname is so incredibly effective. It's light and playfully delivered, but it also carries a sharp, undeniable emotional edge. You're not trying to box her in with expectations. Instead, you're liberating her to be bold, to be clever, and to be unapologetically unique. You're not trying to manage her or control her spirit. You're simply enjoying her unpredictable nature and letting her know that you welcome the delightful storm she brings. That kind of recognition, it quickly becomes your shared language, a private moment, a special spark that exists only between the two of you. While other guys play it safe or try too hard to impress you, instantly become the man who doesn't flinch in the face of exhilarating chaos. And that more than anything else makes her feel truly alive. You don't, for instance, utter this during a quiet, intimate moment over coffee. No, you say it when she throws out a sharp, unexpected comeback or gives you that playful, challenging glance that says so much without words. Maybe she says something totally out of left field or laughs at a moment when no one else would dare. That's when you smirk, tilt your head just a little, and confidently say, "You're such a wild card. I never know what I'm going to get with you." Then let it sit. Don't follow it with an explanation or try to clarify yourself. Just let her feel what that means. Because in that precise moment, she's not being judged. She's being seen. And that feeling, that profound, liberating feeling of being truly seen and appreciated for her unique spirit, that's what she'll chase. When you call her a wild card with that steady, grounded tone, what you're really doing is giving her something incredibly rare permission. You're letting her know that her beautiful unpredictability isn't just tolerated. It's absolutely magnetic. Wild card embracing her edge. When you call her a wild card, you're essentially telling her that her spontaneity isn't some kind of flaw. It's a defining feature, something truly special. And once she feels that deep sense of safety within your energy, something truly profound shifts within her. She begins to lean into that edge a little more, embracing her unpredictable nature. Not to test you, and certainly not just to impress you, but because you've genuinely created a space where it feels safe and incredibly exciting for her to be fully authentically alive. And all of that entire dynamic stems from just one perfectly timed phrase. It leaves an unforgettable emotional imprint. She remembers it not because the word itself is particularly clever, but because in that precise moment she doesn't feel like just another girl. She feels like a captivating mystery worth solving, someone whose very presence undeniably shifts the energy in the room. That's what makes it so truly unforgettable. Muse, the ultimate emotional frame. Now let's transition into what is arguably one of the most powerful emotional frames you can ever offer a woman, Muse. Nice dress. Great smile. You look amazing. Sure, those comments are fine. They're polite. But let's be honest, they fade almost immediately. They're surface level. They blend seamlessly into the background noise of every other guy she's ever heard from. But when you look her directly in the eyes with genuine intention and say, "You're kind of my muse," you're doing something entirely different. You're not just admiring her physical appearance. You're giving her profound emotional impact. You're telling her, "You matter to me in a way that genuinely moves and inspires me." When you call her your muse, what she hears deep down is this: "You influence me." Not because you're trying to, not because you're forcing it, but simply because of the remarkable person you are. And that kind of authentic recognition that cuts so much deeper than any superficial flattery ever could. It immediately places her in a role that elevates the connection for both of you. You're not idolizing her. You're not worshiping her on a pedestal. You're simply acknowledging that her presence brings something truly rare and invaluable into your life. Clarity, bursts of creativity, a different kind of inner fire. And that's the kind of praise that stays with her, echoing in her mind long after your conversation has ended. When you tell a woman that she genuinely adds meaning to moments that used to feel dull or mundane, you're not just giving her a compliment, you're giving her purpose. You're explicitly saying, "You shift something fundamental within me." And that truly sticks. For many women, this sense of emotional purpose hits far deeper than mere physical desire. It's not just about being wanted or desired, it's about mattering. She doesn't want to be just another woman you flirt with. She wants to feel like a woman who subtly, perhaps even unexpectedly, improves you. When you say something like, "I honestly think better when I'm around you," you're not trying to be poetic or overly dramatic. You're being incredibly real. You're letting her into a vulnerable part of your world that most men meticulously hide. And that kind of honest vulnerability, when it comes from a man who is clearly centered and self-assured, pulls her closer with an undeniable magnetic force. When you tell her that she makes you better, she begins to see herself as an integral part of your personal evolution, your journey of growth. She starts valuing the connection even more because now she has a crucial role in your story, not just as someone you're physically drawn to, but as someone who's genuinely helping you grow and become a better version of yourself. And that role, that profound connection, becomes an intrinsic part of her emotional identity. And when a woman feels like she's part of your becoming, she stays, not out of obligation or expectation, but because the connection feels profoundly meaningful and deeply fulfilling. You're not just making her feel desirable, you're making her feel truly important. But a quick crucial word of warning here: this has to be absolutely real. Forced sincerity or a performance. That's far worse than saying nothing at all. Maybe she made an insightful comment that genuinely challenged your thinking. Perhaps her mere presence calmly grounded you in a way you didn't even know you desperately needed. Or maybe a simple walk with her left you feeling clearer and more focused than hours spent alone in contemplation. Muse, the impact of authenticity. That's precisely when the moment truly lands. And when it does, please don't perform it, don't dramatize it. Just look at her, take a breath and say it like it genuinely surprised you too. Honestly, you're kind of my muse. That's not a line you picked up somewhere. That's a truth. And it's a truth that quietly, subtly rewrites the entire emotional script between you two. Because now you're no longer just a man seeking her attention. You become the man who is genuinely transformed by her energy. That, my friends, is what women truly remember. Not the guy who merely told her she was hot or pretty, but the one who felt something profound shift the very moment she stepped into his life. The man who connected her presence to his own purpose. The man who made her feel not just admired, but deeply relevant. And that kind of relevance, it forges a bond far stronger than any fleeting infatuation. Because sure, most men want to be desired, but the truly rare man, the one she simply can't forget, he's the man who authentically lets her know you matter. So here's the often missed truth that most men completely overlook. The kind of man who ignites lasting desire isn't the loudest, the richest, or the flashiest guy in the room. It's the one who can feel deeply and communicate those feelings clearly. It's the one who makes her feel truly seen, understood, and appreciated. The one who, without even consciously trying, becomes utterly unforgettable. Because she'll always remember that pivotal moment she realized she was his muse. More than just nicknames, emotional invitations. The 5 nicknames we've explored today: Trouble, Heartbreaker, My Favorite Headache, Wildcard, and Muse. They are not magic spells. They're not cheap tricks, and they are most definitely not tools for manipulation. Instead, think of them as emotional invitations. They are subtle, intentional words that gently open a door to something far deeper within her, a sense of identity, a feeling of delightful mystery, and an emotional spark she rarely, if ever, experiences. These nicknames invite her into a profound feeling. Not just the feeling of being admired on a superficial level, but the powerful, resonant feeling of being deeply remembered. Because when you call her trouble, you're not just flirting. You're brilliantly reframing her boldness and spirited nature as captivating as something you're drawn to. When you say heartbreaker, you're not submitting to her power. You're eloquently naming the quiet, intriguing chaos she leaves in her wake, all without giving up your own grounded frame. And when you tell her she's your muse, you're not worshiping her. You're elevating the entire connection between you two to a higher, more meaningful level. And in a world saturated with empty compliments that ultimately mean nothing, that kind of genuine perceptive recognition means absolutely everything. It's that subtle replay in her mind hours later, that half smile she can't quite explain to anyone else, that magnetic energy she instinctively wants to return to again and again. Because in that unique space, that sweet spot between light teasing and profound meaning, you're not just a man who merely talked to her. You're the man who touched something deeply significant inside her. And that is precisely how real lasting attraction is built. Not through desperate chasing or forced efforts, but by intimately knowing the emotional language she craves, the language that most men unfortunately never even bother to speak. So out of these 5 nicknames we've discussed, which one resonates most with you? Have you ever found yourself using one of them, perhaps even without fully realizing the powerful impact it had? Let me know in the comments below. Your turn, share your story. Or maybe someone once gave you a name, a phrase, a label that unexpectedly stuck with you. A word that made you feel truly seen, truly understood in a way you hadn't anticipated. Whatever your story is, big or small, I want to hear it. Share it down in the comments below. Your insight, your personal experience, might be exactly what another man needs to hear tonight to shift his perspective and deepen his own connections. Keep the journey going. And if you're ready to dive even deeper into the fascinating world of emotional influence, the intricate psychology of connection, and how to authentically build powerful magnetic relationships that truly last, then you know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. There is so much more coming your way. This journey of understanding genuine attraction and connection is truly just beginning. Thanks so much for being here, for investing your time in yourself and in these important ideas. And always remember this: it's not about doing more, trying harder, or being someone you're not. It's about simply showing up with genuine presence, purpose, and truth. I'll see you in the next one.